Newlywed discovers shocking truth about wife. David and Claire were the picture-perfect couple, or so it seemed. After a whirlwind romance, they tied the knot in an elegant ceremony. David, a successful entrepreneur, thought he had found the woman of his dreams, someone kind, supportive, and full of mystery. Little did he know, her mystery hid secrets that would shatter his world. Just weeks into their marriage, David began to notice strange behavior. Claire would disappear for hours, without explanation, and avoid questions about her past. One evening, while cleaning the house, David found an old, torn photograph tucked inside a book. In it, Claire stood beside a man who looked eerily familiar, someone from David's own life. Digging deeper, David uncovered shocking evidence. Claire had once been involved with his estranged brother, Michael, a man David had not seen in years due to a bitter family feud. Worse, Claire's sudden reappearance in his life was no coincidence. She had orchestrated their meeting. The realization hit him like a storm. Claire had married him under false pretenses, possibly to settle a hidden grudge or fulfill some twisted scheme. Unable to contain his emotions, David confronted Claire that night. The confrontation turned heated and violent. As anger and betrayal consumed them both, Claire finally admitted her connection to Michael, confessing that she sought revenge for what David had done to his brother during their feud, a dark secret David had never spoken of. But Claire's plans had taken an unexpected turn. Somewhere along the way, she had genuinely fallen in love with David. Her confession only deepened the betrayal, leaving David torn between his love for her and the lies she had told. In the aftermath, the marriage fell apart. David filed for divorce, cutting ties with Claire. But he couldn't shake the lingering question: was her love for him ever real? Or was it just part of the game? Claire, on the other hand, vanished, leaving behind a letter apologizing for her actions, begging for forgiveness, and confessing the full truth about the pain both she and Michael had endured. The moral: the story highlights how deception and unresolved conflicts from the past can destroy relationships, no matter how strong they seem. It also serves as a reminder that love cannot thrive without honesty and trust. Betrayal, while devastating, can also be a catalyst for self-reflection and growth, teaching us the importance of confronting the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Continuation of the story: Newlywed discovers shocking truth about wife. Months after the divorce, David tried to rebuild his life, focusing on his work and keeping his distance from relationships. But Claire's betrayal lingered in his mind, not because of the pain she caused, but because of the unanswered questions. The letter she left behind mentioned a tragedy involving Michael, and David couldn't ignore the guilt tied to their estranged relationship. Compelled to uncover the full truth, David began investigating Claire's claims. He reached out to old acquaintances and eventually tracked down Michael. To his shock, Michael was not the villain David had imagined. Instead, he was living in isolation, consumed by bitterness over their past fallout. During their emotional reunion, Michael revealed that their feud had cost him everything: his career, his family connections, and even his mental health. It was then David learned the real reason behind Claire's actions. Michael had convinced her to marry David as part of a plot to ruin his life, believing it was the only way to make David feel the same pain he had endured. But Claire's feelings had changed over time, and she had confessed the plan to protect David from further harm. This revelation left David conflicted. Michael's suffering was undeniable, but his actions were driven by hatred and revenge. Meanwhile, Claire's betrayal wasn't as black and white as he once believed. As he reflected on these events, David decided he couldn't change the past, but he could choose how to respond. Instead of allowing himself to be consumed by anger, David chose forgiveness. He reconciled with Michael, offering to help him rebuild his life. He also reached out to Claire, not to rekindle their relationship, but to thank her for forcing him to confront the truth about his family. Though their paths would never cross again, David's forgiveness freed them both from the chains of their shared mistakes. The final moral: the story shows that forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing, not just for others but for yourself. Betrayal and anger can leave deep scars, but confronting the truth and letting go of resentment can pave the way for peace. The choices we make after pain define who we become, and sometimes the hardest battles lead to the greatest growth. Epilogue of Newlywed discovers shocking truth about wife. Years passed, and David's life slowly found balance. His business flourished, but more importantly, he became a better man, one who valued relationships over ambition. He stayed close to his brother Michael, helping him recover from the years of isolation. Their bond, though fragile at first, grew stronger with time, as they worked together to heal the wounds of their past. One day, while attending an art exhibition in another city, David spotted Claire. She stood at the far end of the gallery, admiring a painting. For a moment, he hesitated, unsure if he should approach her. But something within him, perhaps closure, urged him forward. When Claire turned and saw him, her expression was a mix of surprise and regret. They exchanged polite words, catching up briefly. Claire had started a new life, working with a nonprofit organization that supported families affected by estrangement and betrayal. Her journey toward redemption had been as painful as his, but she had found purpose in helping others. As they parted ways, David and Claire exchanged one final glance, a silent acknowledgement of the pain they had caused each other and the growth it had inspired. Though they would never be together again, they both understood that their shared story had shaped them into better people. David walked away that evening, feeling lighter. He had forgiven Claire completely, and for the first time in years, he felt free to open his heart to the possibility of love again. Final lesson: life's hardest truths often teach us the most valuable lessons. Betrayal, anger, and pain are inevitable, but they also provide opportunities for growth, forgiveness, and healing. The key is to confront those challenges with courage and a willingness to let go of resentment. True freedom comes from embracing the past, learning from it, and moving forward with a stronger heart. The end. Thanks.